Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark. These two teams very familiar with each other. Split the regular season series a year ago, and in the playoffs, it was Indiana getting past Atlanta in 3 without Caitlin Clark. And we are underway at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Dream have won 2 in a row. Fever looking to snap a 2-game losing skid. First meeting of the regular season between these two squads. Here's Mitchell on the move, out to Hull. Hull in the paint, stops, finds a cutting. Mitchell lays it up and off. Battle for the board, out of bounds, and it'll be Atlanta Rock.
And if you're Carl Semesco, you were really close to getting upset with your team because he talked about the back cutting of Kelsey Mitchell a lot in shoot-around today.
He's been happy with the defense overall, but there are moments and little things that he would like to clean up. And they're coming off of that big win Tuesday over Connecticut. Howard over to Gray. Shot clock winding down. Hillman gonna have to make it happen. Outside, Canada got a grenade and goes glass.
I thought she shot that a little earlier than she had to. I didn't think she needed to rush it that much.
This is Clark from deep. No good, and rebound Billings. Hull lost it off the heel, scooped up by Billings. And 6 seconds to work with. Boston on the try. Boston floats it up off the mark, and Reese clears the board, once again leading the W in rebounding.
Look at her run the floor.
Reese couldn't put it in, and here comes Clark the other way. Atlanta with an early 3-0 advantage. Billings, in her first season with the Fever, over to Mitchell. Mitchell, the midi. No.
And that will be an interesting matchup to watch because Jordan Canada can match with Kelsey Mitchell speed for speed.
Yep, the quickness, for sure.
Reese, over to Howard. This game features 4 of the top 6 scorers in the W this season as Howard is fouled on the way to the rim. And you see Caitlin animated already.
Just taking advantage of the matchup. Power sees that she has the advantage here, going to attack and get her. And at that point, you see the left arm come down from Clark there, and that's what can't happen. Once you get beat, don't make one mistake into 2, right? I'm already beat to the basket. Concede the layup there. The layup there is far less damaging than picking up an early foul in the game.
We heard our crew in the studio, Swin Cash, Ty Young, talking about this. Caitlin Clark being picked on defensively. What's the response if you're Clayton in this situation? Again, it's a team game, but she's been singled out in defensive situations.
Well, I mean, the response is to compete, but really, Grady, the response is the details. Like, you know what Ryan Howard wants to do. And so the response is, from a scouting report standpoint, force her to do something that she's not very good at doing or not as good at doing. And if she does that and beats you, you just tip your hat to her.
Clark flips it up and off, and Howard the board.
So Stephanie White mentioned this stat in the pregame interview with Kayla, and she talked about restricted area. And she said, we have the 3rd most restricted area field goal attempts in the WNBA, but we're 12th best in percentage. What have we seen already? 3 missed shots in the restricted area, right? And so that's a part of the offensive and the quarter court specifically that Indiana needs to improve.
Clark dump off the hole in the lane, puts it in.
And what happens when you hit those shots? You can now set up your defense and get positioned the way you want to, get your matchups the way you want. Everyone's ready to play on this end of the floor.
Canada gave it up. This is Hillman, 3-ball, long, and rebound secured by Boston. Here comes Clark the other way. Atlanta an early 4-2 advantage. Boston. Outside, Mitchell for 3. Rims out, and Gray with the rebound in traffic.
And I was trying to figure out, was Jordan Canada leaving to double that far?
Listen, this is what we say without the timing. If you're going to leave like that, you better get that ball.
Seriously.
Okay? There is no option. You cannot, because if you're going to leave Kelsey Mitchell 20.6 points per game,
it better be from good
you better get it.
That's right.
You can take gambles, but you better get it, man.
Mitchell 3rd in the W in scoring. She is second in franchise history in career points, and this is Naz Hillman at the free throw line for the Dream. As we take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule, tomorrow on Ion, the Sun taking on the Sky, the Wings at the Sparks, Saturday on ABC, the Storm at the Lynx, Valkyries at the Aces, then Saturday on CBS, the Fever taking on the Liberty. Free throws good for Hillman.
Composed start for Atlanta. That's one of the things Carl Smesco talked about, right? Understand you're going into a Lions Den tonight, a team that wants to have the response, and they've done a nice job here early on.
Billings left it short. And here comes Atlanta the other way. Canada. And now it's Howard, averaging 19 points per game so far this season. This is a good look for Hillman. Whistle blows. And it's going the other way. No basket. It's an offensive foul on Angel Reese.
But if you're Naz Hillman and they're going to give you that kind of spacing, you absolutely have to knock that down and take a look. Yep, Angel Reese with a hold there, called for that foul.
Clark on an island with Howard. Sees a double, gave it up to Mitchell. Mitchell hits the accelerator, puts it up and in.
You're already beat. I mean, that's just a lot of speed.
This is Canada with the long two, no good. Boston the rebound in traffic. Mitchell. Matched up with Hillman. Over to Boston, extra pass, Hall in the corner, no. And loose ball foul, they'll keep it here. Going against Naz Hillman.
I mean, this is just quick to her strong side, left side, and Naz Hillman was out of position on the catch, so she didn't even have an opportunity to try to defend that because of where she was on the floor.
Right, well, the ghost action, and Indiana runs a lot of guard-to-guard actions, and so they get you caught between the switch and not switching, and that gives you that poor angle a lot of times on the closeouts to get to the basket.
Clark, the step back, good. First field goal for Caitlin Clark. Gray spinning inside, put it up and in. That's Gray's first field goal. Clark inside to Boston, good position, spins, blocked from behind by Reese. Howard. Hand off to Gray. Pass inside, Reese made the catch, surrounded by red jerseys. Good ball movement. It rotates to Canada for three, left it short.
But you have to like that possession if you're Carl Smesco.
This is Clark, too strong, and Reese got up for the board.
Multiple players touching the ball, good ball movement, good shot.
Canada, no.
Not so much on that.
And Clark avoids what would have been a second foul. Boston. Hole now. Billings. Boston won't take the three. Atlanta bench wanted to travel. Billings had good position and a foul.
There are issues that they needed to address internally. I think what's really challenging, and I'm speaking from a coach's perspective here, is when people are hypothesizing about what those issues are and don't know because they're not on the inside. This team clearly has things that they need to address and they need to improve. They've talked about it. Let's see, obviously, in a game situation, if they're going to be able to rectify those.
Yeah, here's your opportunity to really show and prove what that communication was. Is it moving your team forward? Is it going to help you be better? Then if it is, fine.
This is Reese inside with the hard two. Substitutions both ways. Raven Johnson, the rookie, with the handle right now for Indiana. Michaela Timpson also on the floor for the Fever. Tahina Pow in there for Atlanta. Mitchell. Pass deflected and nearly stolen. It makes its way to Boston from downtown. Swish. Boston shooting 35% from downtown this season. Pow lost the handle. And Johnson with the hustle. Here comes Indiana. Mitchell. And that is a hard screen. Michaela Timpson picking up the offensive foul. Second turnover for Indiana.
I didn't like it, Riley. It looked like she was there.
What a great two really good game-changing possessions by Johnson right inserted into the game, right? 50-50 ball underneath the basket, kick to Boston for three, and then scrapes out that loose ball as well. I mean, that's what she can do for this team.
Atlanta turns it over, and that should be a transition take foul. And with that being on Angel Reese, that's going to be her second.
That's not smart. That's not smart from Angel there. And again, it goes back to, like, especially with Atlanta in a short bench.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the storylines for Atlanta this season, right? I mean, they're heavily relying on their starters, not just for minutes, but also for production. And at that point, again, the 2 points by Kelsey Mitchell there is less damaging than the second foul for Reese with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Speaking of that, and to highlight your point, Kara, the last win for Atlanta over Connecticut, they put up 91 points. Every single point came from the starters.
Yeah.
Just 3 shot attempts from the second unit.
In addition to, when you say short bench, a young bench, and
yes,
an inexperienced bench.
Mitchell. Attack mode. Mitchell does not get the roll. And Canada with the rebound. Dream leading by 1. Hillman. A good defense by Johnson with the steal. Johnson. Outside Boston. 3 more. Short. Canada. Gray averaging a career high in points. Stops at the free throw line. Shot won't drop. Rebound by Cunningham.
And that was good contest on the switch by Aaliyah Boston.
Boston. Looking to back down Hillman. Skip pass. Cunningham. Quick trigger. Goal! Cunningham has been struggling with that shot. Sub 30% from downtown this season. This is Hillman got free for the leg.
Yeah, really nice read there. Slips out of it. Empty basket or empty help side. No help side there at the rim. And Hillman just does so many things for this team. And, you know, a lot of these players that we should talk about loudly. Howard, Gray, Reese. But Hillman, I think, is a critical piece.
Mitchell. Just dynamite from anywhere on the floor. Knocks down the J. 5 early points for Kelsey Mitchell. And Ocott battling inside. And a foul is called.
Look at this pass here by Aaliyah Boston. I mean, you got a couple of folks that look like they want to go double, but it's the strength to get that pass out and the angle to avoid the defense. And I love the energy that Kelsey Mitchell has come out with in this game. After what has happened in the last 2 contests, you want a response from your team. Her level of energy and aggressiveness is meeting the moment right now for Indiana.
Well, we had this team a week ago with China, and there's no doubt that there's more of a focus in their facial expressions, in their body language, in their approach, in their intensity defensively. I mean, all of that is more present than it was last Thursday in San Francisco.
Maisha Hines-Allen with the rejection. It went off the foot of Ocott. Officials originally ruled it Atlanta ball, but they get it right. And it'll be Indiana rock. Maisha Hines-Allen. Instant impact on the defensive end. And a hard screener. Clark got some space. Fires. Can't hit. And rebound bounces around. And Ocott comes out of there with it. 35 seconds on the first quarter game clock. Atlanta could be looking for a 2-for-1. They're going to run out of time on that as a foul is called inside. And it's going to be on Michaela Timpson. And that's going to be her 3rd.
She has a lot of size and a lot of strength down there. She's trying to wrestle with, okay? I mean, that's a hard ducking, and she's trying to swim around. I mean, it is difficult.
This is Medina Okad, first Kenyan player drafted in the first round of the WNBA draft, knocked down the first. Press play on live cup games with WNBA League Pass. Stream more live Commissioner's Cup games and access more ways to watch than ever. Get League Pass today for $39.99 for the year.
It was interesting to hear Carl Smesco talk about the potential. You know, and that he feels she's going to be an all-star down the road.
Here she is inside, got the leg.
Look at that finish. Light on her feet. Even though she's big body, she can move. She's got mobility, and that's a nice soft touch for a player that hasn't been playing basketball very long.
Just 21 years young. She ties the game up at 15, 7 seconds. Johnson, the rookie, time running out. Handoff, Clark has to fire. Made a pass as the horn sounds. And after one
is committed to the defensive end. Everyone else follows suit. And then you've got Jordan Canada who can pressure the ball. Then you talked about Alicia Gray's improvement on that end of the floor. And we know what Angel Reese can do defensively along with Naz Hillman.
This is Reese with the handle. Shot clock winding down on the drain. Reese, they're going to have to put it up. Ball on the floor. It's a shot clock violation and a turnover to start the second.
And that was a matchup Stephanie White talked about. Maisha Hines-Allen has had success against Angel Reese in her career defensively, and her physicality with Reese, Stephanie White thought could be a factor in this game.
Clark around the Hines-Allen screen. Clark to the rack, blocked by Okad.
She's showing us.
Yeah.
She's showing us something.
The
tonight.
rookie
I like
is
it.
moving.
I like
He's
it.
moving.
I like it. I'm really impressed with Atlanta's defense. And to go back to the point about the improvement on that end, I mean, this is terrific. Chase down, that length that she has. We talk so much, and we should, about what Gray and Howard do offensively. Both of their improvements defensively this year, I think, is what makes Atlanta a legitimate contender, specifically when Bree Jones gets back.
Yes.
And the box out there from Reese. She touched it last. And it will stay with Indiana. The Fever will get a fresh 14. There is Carl Smesco in his second season as head coach of Atlanta. Hines-Allen trying to find a cutting Sophie Cunningham, and Alicia Gray with the hands. Howard back to Gray. They're taking their time on the perimeter. Caught Canada on the move. Stops. Kick out to Reese. Can't hit the tray. She hit her first three of the season Tuesday against Connecticut. Hand off to Clark. Clark got some space. Bottoms. She's now 2 for 8 with that make. 5 points, and the Fever lead by 3. Skip pass for Reese. Over to Howard. Howard going dancing with Clark. Howard dump off, and Reese couldn't handle it.
How many plays, consecutive plays, has Maisha Hines-Allen been a factor? Right here, just completely takes Ryan Howard out with the screen there, but also her activity on defense, the way she recovers, she understands the game, high basketball IQ. And everyone better look out, because now that she's starting to grasp what is required in this system, she's going to be that much more impactful.
Atlanta 11th in the WNBA in turnovers per game. They have 7 already here in the first half. Howard leading the W in steals. Howard going at Boston and rims out. Clark on the move, stops on a dime, and cutoff finds Boston for 3. And Atlanta will call time.
Better start at home. They've had a couple days to reset, regroup. And we've seen some good things here early.
They've hit more shots from beyond the arc than inside the arc, speaking of Indiana. 5 threes, 3 shots from inside the arc. As they lead by 6, Howard in the corner, surrounded. Gave it up to Canada, who goes down, and a foul is called on Clark for a push. That's going to be her second.
But I like the call by Stephanie White out of the timeout to inject some energy in her defense, trapping here. And then from the behind angle, looks like Clark might have had that right hand on the back of Jordan Canada.
Indiana #1 in pace. Stephanie White talking often about her team needs to get into transition. They've been forcing turnovers early and often in this one as Gray misses from downtown. Billings, hand off to Clark. Clark just lost the handle on the way to the rim.
You know, one of the parts of Aaliyah Boston's game that's improved is that three-point shooting. And you know, the delta between the two teams right now is the 6 points, and she's got 2 threes. And you know, Indiana finding spacing is critically important with their front court, and she's the player that's most equipped in their front court to knock down shots consistently. A great sign for their offense that she's hitting a 3-point shot early.
Shot clock winding down on Atlanta. Hillman looking for Okot in the post. This is Okot going to have to put it up. Stops off glass for 2.
Give me more of that. That's tough. She does. It's like she doesn't even know how strong she is.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? It's like she's just exploring now, like in the space. I mean, she can be a dominant force. Look at her run.
Dream force a turnover. Gray missing from beyond the arc. And here comes Clark across the timeline. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell shifting. Back to Clark. Inside to Billings, and she's pushed from behind by Ryan Howard.
You get caught down there, and sometimes it happens. I'll tell you what, I do not want to get caught down there against her.
My goodness. And then, I mean, the wherewithal, with the step through to let the defense go by. Quality minutes for that young woman.
5 points, couple of rebounds off the bench. She'll take a seat as Angel Reese checks back in. Reese with 5 rebounds, also playing with 2 fouls. How about Mitchell cutting off the inbound for 2. Indiana by 6. Hillman in the lane, blocked by Billings. Mid-range, Jay won't go.
Some standing on offense on that possession by Atlanta.
Pass inside, Boston, good position. Oh, the okey-doke, can't hit. And a rebound secured by Hillman. Near the midway mark of the second quarter. Indiana trying to get back to some defensive principles. Have to be pleased with their effort thus far. As Billings breaks up that pass.
You gotta stay beneath there. That's what you don't want to give up. I mean, that's a freebie. That's not something we see a lot from Atlanta. It's just a breakdown there in Canada's body position. But how about the improvement there, possession to possession? Remember early on in the game, Hillman slips out of a screen, gets a wide open layup. There's no help side. Flight of the pass, Billings is there this time. It's a deflection out of bounds. So great job by Indiana to make that adjustment.
Just 2 points so far in the second quarter for the Dream on 1 of 7 shooting.
But I will say, this favors the Dream. 23-17. I mean, where they have struggled most this season has been on the offensive end, right? But defensively, you're holding Indiana to 23 points in 15 minutes of play. You're not happy you have 17 points, but your defense has held up.
And we'll see if that made free throw can get Ryan Howard going. She's without a field goal to this point after 36 in the last game, right? So you want to try to find a way, if you're Atlanta, to get her some more opportunities.
This is Canada from downtown.
And that changes your offense when Canada can hit from long range.
4-point possession for Atlanta. Boston got free inside. And Clark gets another assist, her 5th of the ball game. still playing without Bree Jones. Had that torn meniscus, had surgery. Dream turn it over again. Mitchell chases down the rock. Stops over to Clark. Touch pass. Hull inside. And Hull is fouled.
I mean, there's been a number of these passes from Caitlin Clark. Just darts right up the floor to Aaliyah Boston. Not a lot of pressure on the ball. Defense isn't necessarily in position near the basket to get a tip.
Well, she has 5 assists, and she really should have had 6 though.
Yeah.
On the touch pass to Hull. I thought Hull should have quick up that, finished that early on the left side of the basket. So playmaking, I mean, yes, just 2 for 8 from the field, but the way she's spreading the ball around with her teammates is at, I would say, her typical high level. I mean, she's one of the best playmakers in the country, in the world, not just the country, right?
Yeah.
Just 1 turnover so far for Caitlin Clark. She's been spreading it around. 1 more free throw for Lexi Hull in her 5th year out of Stanford. 27-21, Indiana on top. You see the black and white basketball, an indicator of this being a Commissioner's Cup game. Atlanta 1-0 in Commissioner Cup play. This is Indiana's first game of the Commissioner's Cup. They, of course, won the title last season, beating Minnesota in the title game. Mitchell got some space and hits. Indiana run. Canada. In the lane, nearly lost the handle, kick out. Hillman flicks the wrist and connects.
That's confidence. That is a confident stroke from Naz Hillman, who has picked up her shooting here in the last few games, getting more efficient from the field.
Clark off the feed from Boston. Indiana's outscored Atlanta 17-9 here in this second quarter. Canada, nice delivery. Reese with the bucket.
That's really good. Really good by Canada. Just to keep the dribble alive, attack the switch, and then be able to have the dump down pass to Reese.
Canada is 4th in the WNBA in assists per game this season. We have a kickball here.
Too. I'm making sure I'm working my butt off on the defensive end, so I feel like that has helped elevate everything else around me, guys.
Austin has matched her career high with 2 made threes. How about that time? Hines Allen with the hoop.
That's the second time they've scored out of that look. Remember the backdoor cut with Mitchell? So Canada does a good job of staying beneath there, and then Hines Allen gets loose. So productive sideline out here for Indiana in the first half. They stay underneath, and then there's the back screen. And Howard just gets tagged on it a little bit. Atlanta shifting, maybe to try and shift momentum, but also put young players in, going for guard here, okay? Howard at the 4, so that's a change. And what that does is it puts Howard on Hines Allen, okay? And that's the strength and physicality advantage that they took advantage of in that sideline out.
Ryan Howard, slow start, just 0 for 2 from the floor. As we mentioned, coming off that 36-point performance on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. Ryan Howard's been quiet. Alicia Gray's been quiet. 1 for 6. 4 points between the two of them.
Here's Mitchell. On the drive around the world, will retreat beyond the arc. Over to Cunningham. And a 3-second violation. So Indiana turns it over, their 7th of the first half. It is a 7-point advantage for Indiana. Gourlays. Outside, Canada wants 3. Won't go. Rebound secured by Johnson. Hines Allen. Nice dump off, but Cunningham couldn't control it out of bounds. And back-to-back turnovers for Indiana.
just like the way they're playing. I like the way Indiana's playing. You know, it's not been perfect. There's been some sloppiness. There's been some miss, but there's more of an urgency about them. There's more of emotion about them. There's more of a connectedness about them, and that's what I wanted to see. You know, coming into today, I think their ceiling is every bit as high as it was to start the season. And so to see this, you have to play this way to capture the growth that your team needs to get. That's the thing. It's not just about like, you can't sleepwalk your way to the end of the season. You have to continue to grow as a team. You play this way, you capture way more growth than if you play the way they did out on the West Coast.
And you talked about it. We talked about it off air. And Caitlin Clark mentioned this in talking with our Kayla Gray. They're 4-4. They're not 2-6. That's a long 2 from Kelsey Mitchell. Still a lot of basketball left to be played this season. 9-point advantage, largest lead of the ball game for the Fever. Gray with the shot clock winding down once again. Borlase on the move, blocked by Boston. Last touched by Atlanta. It's Indiana ball.
And as much as we've talked about how good the Atlanta defense is, the Atlanta offense has struggled this year. And they go through stretches where they don't score the ball very well. And in the half court, Howard and Gray in the first half have been bottled up. They're forced to either give up the ball or take shots that are really, really challenged, which is what Indiana's game plan was. Atlanta's going to have to figure that out. How do I manufacture easier shots against some of the top teams in the league?
Clark over to Boston. Boston going at Hillman. Step through. Boston, wild shot won't go. Borlase with the board. 40 seconds to go in the second. Borlase, step through, put it in with the left. That stops a little bit of the bleeding. Boston. Indiana can't execute the 2-for-1. Mitchell behind the back, looking at Boston inside. Mitchell on the move, push shot drops.
No one has been able to stop her from getting to her spot. She is going left, using the hezzy, being methodical, probing, just to get back to where she wanted to go in the beginning.
14 points for Kelsey Mitchell. Howard gives it up. Borlase, clock winding down, and the clock expires.
Just gotta make it dirty and make it mucked up for them. They're gonna make tough shots, but I think defensively we're just a little bit more sound, and I like it.
You're getting everywhere that you want to get. What are you seeing out there for yourself that's opening things up offensively?
Man, I value film. Just trying to find my angles, trying to hit it off with the right touch. And just honestly, just trying not to think about it, just trying to play free.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kayla. That's Alicia Gray with To the Hard Way, and I do mean the hard way. It seems like each of her shot attempts are extremely difficult ones.
Yeah, that speaks to Indiana's defense, and they've done a good job on her. So it's a shade to the right against Gray, right? Obviously a left-handed player, really strong going left, and so scouting report says, hey, shade to the right. The first shade to the right, it stops her. The second one, she gets deep in the lane, spins, and then finds a way. I mean, they're going to have to, they being Gray and Howard, are going to have to find a way to get on the board. That's just the second field goal for Gray. Howard still sitting at 0 field goals for the game.
Mitchell had 14 in the first half, inside to Boston. Boston, the spin and the finish.
Nothing you can do at that point. She's buried you so low. It's hard to get another defender there. You're outsized if you're a smaller Naz Hillman. That's just too easy for Boston.
10 points, 6 boards for Boston. Gray in a crowd, 2 more. Gray coming alive.
And that's what you want to see. You go to the locker room, you have a conversation, you come out. Alicia Gray realizes her team needs her offense, and she is playing with a lot more aggressiveness here in the third.
It couldn't have been fun looking at that box score at halftime.
Well, it's easy to sit here and say, you know, for us to look at the stats, and for someone at home to say, hey, they need to do more. Okay, well, how do they do more? here's how you do more. One, transition, be very aggressive. I think Howard and Gray need to look to attack in transition before the defense gets set. And then when they get those driving lanes like Gray has gotten the last 2 half-court possessions, man, you got to put your head down and be aggressive and go until someone stops you.
A fumbled handoff to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to get it back to Billings, and it's a shot clock violation. It's going to be the 9th turnover of the ball game for Indiana.
Ooh, if I'm Atlanta, I'm like, let that one go, right?
Reese did not catch up to it to attain possession before the shot clock expired. And so they'll set up their half-court offense, an area they've struggled for most of this ball game. They're 29 points, a season low in any half for Atlanta. This is Canada. Inside, Hillman. No, but the whistle blows for a foul, and there's that finger twirl. Aaliyah Boston immediately saying, challenge this.
But you feel the intention by Atlanta to drive the rim. And that time, Jordan Canada rejecting the screen, is able to pull 2, and Naz Hillman on the cut.
It may be that off arm that's leading the Indiana Fever not to challenge on that play as we send it over to our Kayla Gray.
Thanks, guys. Well, catching up with Carl Schmesko as he made his way to the bench to start the second half, he says Ryan and Alicia need to just get going. We need to get them involved a lot more, and that involves just getting better ball movement, better speed, better screening. It's a lot of just one passes and the player just looking scared with the ball. We can't have that in the second half, guys.
Dream have outscored Indiana 7-2 so far in this third quarter. 2 minutes gone by. This is Billings with the short hook, rims out, and Hillman crashing the glass. Pass ahead. Gray running the floor. Gray with the lay.
There's a transition I talked about. That's where Atlanta needs to be opportunistic. Now, the genesis of that comes from getting a stop. That's what allows you to run. But if I'm Canada, I'm finding Howard or Gray in transition.
Far in this third quarter. First regular season meeting between these two teams. Of course, they met in the postseason. Indiana knocking out the Dream in 3 without Caitlin Clark. And the Dream went out and added Angel Reese in the offseason. Hall. Over to Mitchell. Now it's Clark. Fires a 3. No good. And it'll go out of bounds to Atlanta.
They love that action. It's really difficult because when Caitlin Clark comes off that pin down screen by Leah Boston, you have to climb up aggressively because you know that she can shoot it. And then they turn around and set the step screen and usually tag that player, and that gives her the clean look. She misses it there, but it's a quality look you don't want to give up too often if you're Atlanta.
And Atlanta has given up more from the three-point line than they have all the season. They're actually number 1 in three-point field goal percentage defense. They've allowed Indiana to shoot 43% from long range. Uncharacteristic of them.
3-second violation. Dream players who were getting on Naz Hillman here was wide open, didn't want to take the 3, and Reese was camped out in the lane.
Yeah, the opportunistic traps by Indiana throughout the game, I think, have created some scattered possessions for the Dream. And then, yeah, Hillman has to be an offensive threat when she catches it off a double team.
Clark off 1 foot.
And that's a tough shot. Ryan Howard is every bit of 6'2" with length.
Reese going at Boston. Reese put it in.
And that's offense that I don't think Atlanta goes to enough with Reese in the middle of the floor with the ability to drive. But the spacing has to be right and the timing. But going back to Caitlin Clark here with Ryan Howard. Howard gets a hand up to contest, but look how quickly Clark gets into that shot. And then Angel Reese taking it to Aaliyah Boston right at the rim.
Indiana by 2, tough inbound, turned over. Gray gave it right back. Clark, step back, no. Clark 4 for 12 in this one, 1 for 6 from downtown. Canada couldn't turn the corner. Hillman will shoot and hits.
You got to take it.
That's why they were honored to take it.
One thing Carl Schmesko believes in is 3-point shots.
Boston inside, surrounded. Hillman with the poke away and the steal.
And that's what you alluded to earlier, Kara, with Naz Hillman, the little things she does, breaking up plays, knowing the scouting report.
Hillman inside now. Gave it up to Howard. Howard still just 0 for 2 in this one. That's her third attempt. Won't drop. Reese blocked by Hall. Clark running. Dump off. Boston. Yes! Hillman, 3 more. Short. Oh, sidestep, Clark. Sick! Crowd coming alive at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Reese attacking, blocked by Boston. Clark quickly, a dime, Mitchell the lane. 7-0, Indiana run.
We see the urgency on both ends for this team tonight.
Clark has scored or assisted on 9 of Indiana's 11 points in the quarter, and Clark picked up a foul. Stephanie White doesn't like the call. Not going to challenge it, though. It's the 3rd foul on Caitlin Clark.
I would have wanted to see what that right side was doing.
We couldn't see from
We
that
couldn't
angle.
see that from that angle.
Canada for 3. No. Hines Allen the box out. Clark getting in a groove behind the back. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell driving, cut off. Pow pow, the defense. And it will stay with Indiana with 6 on the shot clock.
And good job by Pow Pow. I mean, as soon as she lined up in front of Kelsey Mitchell, I was like, uh-oh. And she took on the challenge.
Inbound to Hines Allen. Indiana has to move quickly. Nice speed. Clark can't hit. Timpson the board on the floor. Over to Hines Allen. And that pass deflected out of bounds. 8 on the shot clock. Indiana retains the rock.
I like it. I like the competitiveness has been raised a little bit. This is what I came for.
You can feel the intensity rising.
I like it. It means something to both teams.
Coach Semesco said he's anticipating a playoff atmosphere. And games like this during the regular season prepare you for the postseason. Inbound to Mitchell. Mitchell in the lane, step through, scoop shot!
Come on.
She's been getting to that same exact spot all night.
9 unanswered by Indiana. Atlanta needs a response. This is Hillman, lays it up and off. Hines Allen the board. Timpson over to Clark. Clark navigating traffic and is fouled by Hillman. Hillman's going to pick up her 2nd.
I mean, this whole time you know where she wants to go. Takes her hand off the ball, actually, makes contact with the defense, and still has another step to get back to her left.
Mitchell with a game-high 18. And Raven Johnson gives Stephanie White some good minutes in the first half. Checks back in.
Yeah, I was looking at the box score at the end of the first half, and the second unit really helped the defense. I mean, when Raven Johnson and Maisha Hines-Allen come into the game, they each had 2 steals apiece in just the first half. They raised the intensity on that end.
That's a long 2! Kelsey Mitchell.
You're cooking.
11-0 Indiana run. Howard, no hesitation. and gets her first field goal. The timing couldn't have been better. Mitchell penetrates. Mitchell, automatic. 22 for Mitchell.
I'm sorry, I've just been given moments of silence. That's it, man. That's all I've been doing after these buckets. I don't have much to say. This is high level from Kelsey Mitchell.
And she got the cookies. Mitchell, 3-ball.
Come on.
Cash! She's over 5,000 points for her WNBA career.
What other wing was going to pick up the assignment opposite of Cole for Howard and Gray? And it's been Mitchell.
Still have a lot of time left in this one. Gray puts it up off the heel and rebounded by Hines Allen. Johnson over to Hines Allen. Good position inside. Put it in with the left. She has a lot to deal with on the interior. Largest lead for Indiana. Pow over to Canada. Canada spinning, puts it up and off. Atlanta going cold. It's an 18-3 run, and the Fever turn it over. Howard, that's a good look. Howard got the tray.
Yeah, there's the transition, and that's what I told you. Atlanta is going to have to get points in transition in this game, and it's the way to activate Howard and Gray a little bit more because the defense isn't set.
Both can heat up in a hurry. Under a minute to go here in the third. Johnson puts it up and in. Her first field goal of the night. She's a plus 16 in this ball game. Gray getting downhill. Gray is fouled hard by Hines Allen.
It's really about playing with pace, to your point, Kara, whether it's transition or the half court. Atlanta's got to play with some movement. And when they start standing and watching, you know, one thing that Carl Semesco talks about is not only improved screening, as we heard from Kayla, but also multiple actions happening at once, keeping the defense on their toes.
Atlanta's second best record in the W. Only team better has been Minnesota this season. Minnesota taking on the Valkyries. That game immediately follows us as we take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Tomorrow on Ion, Sun at the Sky, followed by the Wings at Sparks. Saturday on ABC, Storm at Lynx, Valkyries at Aces, and Saturday on CBS, Fever and Liberty at 8 o'clock Eastern.
So where is Atlanta struggling? Okay, when you look at kind of their blueprint for wins to that 6-2 record, it's been on their defense. Indiana's shooting 53% from the field. That's not something teams have done consistently against Atlanta. The other piece where their offense is struggling is this is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league, and they only have 6. Okay, Indiana's done a terrific job on the defensive glass tonight to limit those second chance opportunities. It was a point of emphasis for the Fever before the game.
Put these days off since that loss to Portland to good use. 3-second difference, shot and game clock. Pow on an island with Clark. Pow, cross. Pow, nowhere to go. Suffocating defense from Indiana. .8 to work with.
Fever basketball.
Into Johnson. Johnson looks at the clock and does not get a shot off in time. This is Johnson outside to Boston. Yes.
That's a scary sight. Like, just for not only any opponent of the Fever and how comfortable Boston is outside the three, but for the development of her career and where she is headed, her trajectory.
This is Okot, good minutes in the first half. Blocked by Boston. It ricochets out to Pow. Can't hit the tray. And the ball goes out of bounds where it will stay with Atlanta. How about Aaliyah Boston already with a career high in three-pointers made in a single season. This is game number 9 for the Fever. Pass inside, Okot made the grab, and the reverse. Potential oozing from Okot.
She has been their spark off of the bench. Every team needs someone to come in and kind of change the flow of what's happening. It's been the rookie.
Second team All-SEC last season. Johnson over to Boston. Pull up, Jay won't go. Rebound secured by Howard. Still a lot of time left in this ball game. Gray. Sized up by Johnson. Over to Howard for 3. Too strong. And rebound Timpson. Clark. Step back. No. Indiana shooting 47% from downtown as Gray can't get it to go. There's Okot once again. Foul. Clark called for the foul. And that is the 4th foul on Caitlin Clark.
When we're going to see Kelsey Mitchell again, I'm waiting.
Kara's leg is over here shaking. She's ready to see another Kelsey Mitchell bucket.
I'm just asking. Where does that happen?
Howard. Clock to 3. Howard. No. And Clark tries to chase it down, and it goes out of bounds. It will stay with Atlanta. A little friendly fire there for the Fever.
I want to make it clear, I like everybody on the floor. Okay, I just like what she's doing more tonight.
I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yes, Mitchell has 25, right now has a seat on the bench. 2 minutes gone by here in the 4th. Reese, step through, puts it up and through.
That's a tough bucket for Angel Reese. He had a couple blocked right around the rim. And Atlanta's got to get better finishing those shots right down in the paint. That would help their offense quite a bit.
Clark tried the pocket pass, and it's out of bounds where it will stay with Indiana. And here comes Kelsey Mitchell.
Reese just sizing up the defense, steps through, nice touch to the middle. And Kara is over here ecstatic that
I didn't hear what you said, Grady.
Mitchell,
say what you just said again. I didn't hear it.
Mitchell's back in.
Okay, thank you.
That's all she's worried about right
As
now.
the leg stop shaking?
Yeah,
you're good.
good now.
You're good.
Does she deserve a chance to take a rest, Kara, tonight? Is that okay with you?
She did take one.
It's time for her to get back
Yes.
He's played 27 minutes in this one. Here's Johnson. Over to Boston. Hand off to Clark. Clark driving on Reese. Can't hit the reverse. Rebound secured by Pow. Gray, baseline drive. Can't go glass. Rebound battled for, and looks like we're going to have a jump ball between Angel Reese and Aaliyah Boston.
Jump ball.
Jordan Canada back in for the Dream. Canada with 7 points, 6 assists. Pow will sit. Atlanta averaging 84 points a game. That's 9th in the W. Stuck on 55.
There's some jockeying happening right now. Fisher can't even get in there to throw the ball up.
That was a terrible toss.
Easily won by Reese. Howard. Looking to go at the rookie here. Off balance, well off the mark. Howard's just 2 for 8 tonight. Clark over to Hines Allen, flicks the wrist, short. Canada on the move, right to the rack, can't hit the lane. Reese with the offensive board, and no shot, a travel. She didn't put it down.
I thought maybe a Fever player had touched the ball. That's maybe what Angel was arguing. See how Raven hit it?
Yeah, she should have
Yeah.
let go of the rock. Held on to it, traveling violation. 14th turnover of the ball game for Atlanta. Here's Clark. Now Mitchell. Hines Allen to Johnson. Johnson penetrating, scoop shot, reverse, no. Hines Allen the board, can't put it in, but is fouled inside. Hines Allen with 6 rebounds in this ball game. A couple of steals and a block. WNBA on Prime is brought to you by AT&T. Connection changes everything.
Is there enough in the tank for Atlanta? And I don't know if there is or there isn't. I mean, they've played heavy minutes all year, but Howard's played 32 of a possible 34 minutes. Gray's played 31 of a possible 34 minutes. And to dig back from a double-digit deficit is going to take pace and transition. It's going to take those effort plays. It's going to take offensive rebounds. It's going to take stops on the defensive end, chasing around Clark and Mitchell. It's going to be a test.
That'll be something to keep an eye on over the course of the season with Atlanta, as Howard and Gray first and second in the WNBA in minutes per game.
Yeah, the Fever averaged 92 points a game. They've got 66 points. Atlanta just hasn't been able to manufacture enough offense, and I don't feel like they really know what they want to run when for who. And that's maybe some growth over time for this team offensively, is you got to know where your money spots are.
Howard inside to Hillman, extra pass, and Reese put it up and off. Reese 4 for 9, 8 points, 10 boards. Hand off to Clark. And foul called on Gray. It's going to be her third. Second team foul on the Dream. Indiana by 11, 5:32 to go in regulation. You're watching the WNBA on Prime. 7 assists, and Indiana with an 11-point advantage. And an offensive foul going against Aaliyah Boston, and that's going to be her fourth.
Well, we've seen this in very limited minutes for Carl Smesko going small. And so the decision made here out of this timeout, I'm going to assume in an effort to try to find some offense and to take advantage of Indiana playing off the double big lineup. Now Howard's at the 4. Stephanie White counters with 4 guards as well. And we'll see if this opens up some space for Atlanta on the offensive end.
Gray can't hit the 3. She thought she was fouled. Here comes Clark. And Canada, too physical there with Caitlin Clark. 4 fouls on Jordan Canada. Both teams with 3 team fouls. Clark, pass inside, Hines Allen, little bully ball in the lane, blocked by Reese. Poked away by Johnson. Cunningham over to Johnson. Shot clock to 6. Johnson penetrating, turns, no good, and a foul is called. Hines Allen called for the discard.
Yeah, she pushed into her. Aisha looked very confused, but there's nothing confusing about that foul.
Next foul will put Atlanta in the bonus the rest of the period. Reese going at Hines Allen, and there is the foul to put Indiana in the penalty. And Angel Reese is going to go to the line.
And Atlanta has been a really good fourth quarter team all season in this young season. And we'll see if they can forge something here.
And correction on the scoreboard. It's the 14th foul, and there is the 5th, as now Reese will go to the line.
That was a no-doubter. I mean, okay.
So now Reese will shoot the 2.
Well, I'm just saying, I know emotions get involved, so I was out there, emotions get involved. I would make her make the shot. And then I struggled tonight to finish. And so just make her make the shot.
I feel like there was an internal battle happening right there.
There was. They've been battling on both ends.
Between good and evil.
Yeah.
Evil won.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
basically what happened.
Evil wins a lot.
Single-digit ball game. A lot of time left in this one. Clark going at Howard. Clark with 2 more.
Just bullied her way to the rim.
Made that look easy. Lead back to double figures. Gray going at Johnson, off balance, no. And this is going against Reese.
There have been so many shots like that for Atlanta tonight that have just been right off of the lip.
They're shooting just 32% from the floor. And that's the over and back call on Angel Reese. Her 3rd of the ball game. Clark. Once again on the drive, outside to Cunningham. Big time shot, Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah. Starting front court, not healthy with Collier
Yes.
and Dorka. And how good has Natasha Howard been for them in the face of those injuries? So, I mean, just a team that is learning how to win together on the fly with new personnel. And Miles has been terrific, but I think Howard's been a key piece as well. You know what you're going to get from Williams and McBride, right? I mean, they're veterans.
Yes.
They've been there. And Williams sliding over to the 2, which is her natural position, I think it has really helped her be more aggressive offensively.
Well, and Cheryl Reeve has gotten some really good.
As Boston will go to the line. We were talking about Boston and her 3-point shooting. She made 6 3-pointers a season ago. And she's made 3 3-pointers in this ball game. Excuse me. And has 9 on the season.
She just looks different. She's moving different, and obviously she's been somewhat restricted with minutes coming off an injury, but she just has better footwork, better mobility. And I know we haven't seen the breadth of that as this team continues to put things together, but she looks really good. Even physically, so fit.
Johnson called for the foul. They're not going to count that hoop by Canada, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Stephanie White's mad because Raven Johnson didn't shade the right hands of Canada. And so, you know, she let us go right. And so there's the frustration there.
Kara enjoys sharing the coach's frustration
Yes.
with us. She knows.
Well, no, I don't know that I enjoy it. I think part of me is frustrated.
You can
Good spirit,
with
yes.
them, yes.
I'm frustrated with them.
You felt
that
it.
they didn't follow the plan. You know, it's just frustrating sometimes. Even and again, margin is irrelevant, right? Because yeah, and Raven Johnson is a player that is already a pivotal piece in the Fever's rotation, but that can grow into an even more pivotal piece. And you talk about a playoffs, and you talk about a potential championship run, and those are the types of details that hurt you in a series if you don't follow them.
4 quick points for Atlanta. 10-point ball game, 3 minutes to go. Clark racing to the rim, fouled by Canada. And Clark with the sarcastic celebration And let's go to what you were talking about, skid. Clark can't hit the first. Got the second. She was shooting 95% at the line on the season. Canada over to Howard. Orlays matched up with Boston. Drives to the rim. Got the scoop leg.
Tough finish.
She's had a few nice aggressive drives, straight line drives, but her strength and you know, Boston rejected one in the first half, but then she came right back and finished.
Can Atlanta defend without fouling? Indiana's lead is at single digits. Indiana's lead is at 12. Johnson with the tray. Canada the cross right to the rack for the leg.
Two minutes remaining.
Canada playing with those 5 fouls, applying pressure on Clark. Borlase comes in and fouls Boston.
I mean, you get so consumed with Clark, and then you've got to worry about Mitchell. You get sucked in defensively, and you forget Raven Johnson can knock down that shot. And to your point, she's going to be huge for them throughout the course of this season if they want to raise the trophy at the end of this year, because when she checks into the game, you just feel a different level of defensive intensity, of physicality. The way she runs the offense, just she has command of the ball as a young player, and it's really special to watch. And on top of Stephanie White telling us she's a sponge. She wants to learn. She wants to be coached.
She's going to have to hit that corner 3 consistently, in particular when they go to the 4-guard lineups, because she's the guard they're going to load off of, which means she's the one that's going to get those open looks. And so if she can do that, then she's going to be able to play to stay on the floor longer.
Reese lost the handle. Last touch by Boston. Game 2 of our WNBA Commissioner's Cup doubleheader. Valkyries Lynx underway. Don't miss a moment. Click down on your remote to access the multi-view option and customize your viewing experience. You can watch both games at the same time. Gray, another miss inside. Foul on the floor is called. And it's going against Aaliyah Boston. Boston clearly upset with the call.
And the bench is saying it was a foul.
And that's going to be her 5th. As Reese in and out on the first free throw. Another look at it. Yeah, she's got a case.
I think the push by Reese was after the foul call. Again, what was happening on that left side, tough to see from that angle.
Why?
Howard with the steal, driving to the rim, can't put it in with the left, out of bounds, and it will stay with Atlanta. And that's been the story of the game.
I was going to say, I don't know what Atlanta is shooting in the paint, but I would really like to know, because there have been easy ones right around the basket that they have not been able to put in. But to your point earlier, Kara, look at the minutes Atlanta has logged. I mean, fatigue does start to be a factor when you're Alicia Gray, you played 36, Ryan, you played 36. And especially with the load that Ryan carries on the defensive end. I mean, that is a lot to manage in the course of the game.
Conversation now between Amy Bonner and Boston and Reese.
Well, Bonner's just the third wheel there. I mean, the conversation's been going on between Reese and Boston the whole game. She just pulled up late.
They called her up late. They called her on 3-way. They called her on 3-way.
Going back to your question, LaChina, Atlanta has shot 41 times in the paint. They've missed 24 of those looks.
Yeah. That's not the percentage you want.
And Canada has just fouled out of the ball game. Canada's night concludes with 13.7 assists. And again, just picked up her 6th foul, sending Clark back to the line. And Coach Smeshko is going to empty the bench. Atlanta's going to lose their first game in Commissioner's Cup play. They're going to drop to 6-3 on the season. And Indiana, LaTonna, after that non-stop conversation after Saturday's loss to Portland, so much targeting, that video of the interaction between Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. Get back to the drawing board. They get it done with defense tonight.
Yeah, this is the response you want to see. I mean, definitely more intensity on the defensive end. They felt more connected, and they focused on the game, right? Like we saw them at Golden State and even some at Portland allow the uncontrollables to get to them. And they were very inward focused. I felt like Kelsey Mitchell set the tone with the way that she was aggressive and attacked. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, great chemistry. And I go back to the defense, which Maisha Hines-Allen and Raven Johnson had a lot to do with that.
70 seconds to go in the fourth. This is Pow Pow. No good. Clark the board. And timeout called by Indiana with 1:02 to go in regulation.